Hey guys, with Valentine's Day coming up, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is very important, but I feel is also something that's very easy to um, kind of overlook sometimes or let go by the wayside. Especially if you're a mom of young kids, I know how exhausting that can be, and how when you have like a moment to yourself or to get away, you kind of, it's like, I just gotta get out of this house and, whatever. um, but what I wanted to address is the idea that it is so important to always continue dating your husband. What I mean by that is, like I said, when you have young kids, I know it's exhausting and sometimes it's hard to get away, frankly. So the times that you do, maybe you're just kind of in a rush to get out the door. It's like, we only have this much time, let's go, let's, kind of thing. But I want you to step back for a minute. For some of us, it's stepping way back. I will be in June, I will have been married to my husband for 19 years. So it's been a while since we were in the dating phase of life. However, it's very important to me to still date my husband. And what I mean by that, and what I want to convey to you is, remember what it was like. Remember when you first started dating and just the way you felt about him, the excitement, and like if you were going out, what did you do to prepare to go out with him? I mean, yeah, sure, there were probably, kind of the real casual kind of things that you did, but like if you were going on a date, especially in the beginning of your relationship, what did that look like? I know for myself, that meant, sometimes even buying a new outfit. Not necessary, I'm not saying that, but sometimes that is what I did. I mean, it was so exciting. Like I want to like have something new and be feeling real good. And for me, it always included doing my hair and putting on makeup, even though I wasn't great at it. But I tried, the girl tried. And I wanted to make sure I smelled really good and just like I paid attention to details. I wanted, when I went out, for this guy I was dating to look at me and be like, whoa, like I get to be on a date with this girl. And we should still want that today. If you're married or if you've been in a relationship for a long time with somebody, don't you still want them to look at you like that? Like when you get a chance, it's hard to look at each other like that sometimes when you're in the midst of family things and everything that's going on, and you're running in all these different directions. And sometimes you're frankly just irritated with each other when you do get to interact because you're so overtired and overwhelmed by schedules and all that's going on. But there was a time where it wasn't like that. And there was a time where you did have time for each other, and one of your main, things that you did was want to like look good for the other person, or, you know, I feel like we lose that, or at least a lot of people do. Maybe you haven't, and that's so awesome. Like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. But there have definitely been stages of my life and seasons of my life where I've never been where I didn't like keep myself up, but I didn't, when like we could go out somewhere when the kids were little, it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna go eat somewhere, and we just go and eat and like be hurrying to get back. And especially when like the kids were really little and I was a little bit of a nervous mom in some ways. And so it was like, I don't want to be gone too long because, like the longer you're gone, the more chance there is of something happening when you're not there, right? But like, I want to encourage you to just take a breather. And I'd like to encourage you even to consider this option. If you are a mom of small children and you want to plan a date night with your husband, whether it's for Valentine's Day, which I'm going to be honest, we rarely ever go out for Valentine's Day because it's kind of irritating to me to like sit and wait forever to get into a restaurant. And there's so many people, and like for what we can do that anytime. So that like Valentine's Day doesn't hold that allure for me. So I'm not saying like to do this for Valentine's Day, however you can. But anytime, like if you plan a date with your husband, and instead of it being like the babysitter's here, let's run out, the door and go do what we're gonna do, whatever. I would encourage you, have your babysitter come a little early so that you have time to make yourself feel good. Make yourself, you have the time to do your hair. I know I'm definitely a person who gets in a rut of it's easy to just pull my hair up, it's fast, like blah, blah. Does it look bad? Does my husband hate it? No. But I know that he does notice when I take the time to do my hair, when I curl my hair or whatever it is that I do to it, something different than what he normally sees. I know that he notices when I take the time to wear something different than I would wear on a normal basis, just kind of amp things up a little. He notices when I do my makeup different because he notices that I'm doing it for him. And I'm not saying like you need to do things to make your husband happy. Like my husband is perfectly he's happy when I'm like in pajama pants for 2 days and a mess. But there is that element of like giddiness and excitement that your spouse or your longtime significant other is like taking special time out to just pay attention to those details. And you just feel good about it. Like it is awesome to me. Awesome to be sitting in a restaurant and have my husband be talking to me and looking at me. And I can just tell, like, sometimes he says it, not always, but my husband is actually very good about this kind of stuff. But he'll say something to me about, like, you look so pretty. Or, like, oh my gosh, I still can't believe, like, you're my wife. Oh my gosh, like, is there anything better as a wife to hear that your husband is, like, in awe that you're his wife, that he gets to be with you? Like, I don't know, I just think that's the coolest thing ever. And, or like a little, before we're going into the restaurant, he leans over and kisses me real quick. And just the things that maybe when your kids are with you, yeah, you might do a quick kiss, but it's like, okay, hon, see you later, like kind of things. Now I'm talking about an intentional, like, oh, I'm just looking at you and I just want to kiss you kind of thing. I don't know. There's just something so magical about stepping back, taking that time. And I realize not everyone is a makeup wearer. Not everyone, I'm not telling you to be something that you're not. But I am saying think back to the things from when you were first dating, the types of things you paid attention to about yourself that you wanted to do for them, and do those things. And it adds something, it adds that spark kind of back to your relationship. I highly recommend going out. Try to go once a month. If you can't do that, every other month. I get it, people are busy, and frankly, like, we don't have a lot of money to be able to go out, so it's kind of a, when we do, it's like we'll go to dinner and then maybe we'll go just sit at like Starbucks and just talk and have a drink and just spend that time just one-on-one with each other, focusing on each other. Number one thing I'm going to say right now, and if you do this, because I see people do this all the time and it drives me nuts. Put away your friggin' phone. You do not need your phone when you're out to eat with your spouse or whoever, anybody. You don't need your phone. If you're worried because you have kids at home, I get it. Put your phone on, turn up the volume, have the vibrate on, set it on the seat next to you, facing down. You'll feel if it vibrates, and then you can look in case it might be your babysitter or whatever. Otherwise, nobody needs to talk to you. Nobody needs to get a hold of you. You don't need to read that text. You don't need to put your stupid phone away. I watch families all the time at restaurants, and they're all sitting with their phones out until their food comes. Are you kidding me? Put your phone away. Ooh, little rant, sorry, but that makes me so angry. But yeah, your spouse deserves your attention, and you deserve theirs. And when you're taking this time out to go spend this time with each other, Don't let there be distractions like that. Like, eliminate that stuff. That's part of your everyday that takes away from your relationship. It's time to put it back. And so I just feel so strongly about this. Sometimes our date, and I'm not even joking, is going to the grocery store together. And we laugh, just take whatever opportunity you have. It doesn't have to be something fancy. It can be something as mundane as grocery shopping, but that you get to go do it together and you have fun with it. I'm a kid in stores when my kids aren't with me because I don't want them to do it, so I don't do it in front of them. But especially put me in like a Home Depot or a Lowe's where they've got those like cement floors, which I actually hate those kind of stores, but if I have to go in one, I love running with a cart and then like sliding with it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like if my shoes have a little bit of slip on the bottom, I run and then let the cart kind of drag me. I'm a total child. But like, my husband loves that about me. And so it's like times like that where we laugh and we're goofy, and like, it's just those things that we appreciated about each other when we first were dating, and that we can still appreciate about each other now, but that sometimes get lost in the craziness of life and the craziness of our everydays. And I just highly encourage you, take this time. Doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, but since it's this time of year and it's making me think of that, plan a date with your husband, plan a date with your longtime boyfriend, and take the time to focus on those things. Think about those things that you did to prepare for spending time with them when you were first dating. And do it. Just do it. Trust me. And put aside distractions when you're out. And just laugh together. Just be together. Just enjoy each other. And remember the things that drew you together in the first place. They're still there. Even though you might not see them as often as you used to, they're still there. And so take that time and rekindle your relationship. It's so important. And do it again and again and again over the years, because that's how marriages stay strong. That's how you stay connected to each other. Your kids won't be little forever. Things won't be crazy. We're in a season of life now that we can pick up and go do what we want to because our kids are old enough to be home by themselves, which is fantastic. Let me tell you, you have a lot to look forward to. But don't rush through the little days because those are so enjoyable too. But when those days are done, and it won't be long. I mean, our oldest is going to be 19 on the 25th of February, and our middle son is going to be 16 in May, and our youngest will be 13 in October. And I mean, time is fleeting, and our kids will be out of the house before we know it. And then it's just the two of us. And if we haven't taken this time now to continuously reconnect with each other and remember what it is that we loved so much about each other before and that we still love about each other now, you're going to be left with this. I mean, I talk to people, when your kids leave home, that's such an adjustment. And if you haven't spent this time being present with each other as a couple, things are going to be really weird and really rough when the busyness of stuff with your kids is gone and now all you have is each other. So it's so important. Date your husband. Date him, date him, date him. Get yourself done up. Feel dang good about yourself, because when you feel dang good about yourself, you just like exude something that your husband is going to like eat up. I mean, like when you're feeling good, they can sense it. And let's be honest, when you feel really good about yourself and confident and you're feeling good, it makes your intimacy better. And that's so important for your relationship. So please, please, please date your husband. It's so important. And I hope you guys don't think I'm just crazy and just rambled all this stuff, because it's honestly from my heart. I truly feel this way. I see people in relationships that are so stagnant and they don't seem to find joy with each other. They act like they don't even want to spend time with each other, like they're irritated when the other person is around. I can't imagine living that life or having that kind of marriage and completely forgetting who we were and what connected us in the first place. So please take that time and just invest in your marriage, invest in your relationship. It's good for your kids, it's good for you, and it'll do great things. It'll do great things, trust me. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to me. I hope that there was some value that you got from this. And if you're not married yet, hopefully someday you will be, or maybe that's not what your plan is, whatever. But if you're in a long-term relationship, this is such an important thing. And if it's not where you're at in life right now, it could be in the future. And remember this. Remember how important this is, because it's so easy to, get wrapped up in how life changes and kind of neglect that relationship. And it's so important to stay connected. If you like this kind of rambly, random, me spewing kind of video, please give this a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and please make sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you guys for listening. Talk to you later, and happy Valentine's Day. Bye.